know it's nice to have you on yet another great time on Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwebike. In a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see what we have for this morning, and after that will be our main conversation also for today. So while we get everything all cooked up for you, please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. With me in the studios to make sense of our newspaper headlines is Emeka Madonago. He is a public affairs analyst and also a journalist. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning today. All right, so before we get into the newspaper headlines, I don't know if you did watch the commissioning of the red line by His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but particularly about the comments he threw into the air about the NLC, saying that they should, hold their peace. They should not rate him on the 9 months he had spent in office, and that is not enough time for the NLC, to rate him on, and so many other things he said. So, what do you think about that submission by the president?
And one thing we know is that this government started on the wrong note. It started on the wrong footing, and has continued on the wrong footing. So you expect comments from somebody like that who knows that he has actually failed from the word go. That's the kind of comments you expect from somebody like that. The Constitution guarantees the right of protest. The Constitution guarantees the right of dissent. So why will you be, trying to politicize NLC's protest, NLC's demand for a living wage, NLC's demand for better conditions for workers, Then, those comments, honestly, you don't really, well, I think I'll just congratulate the Lagos State government on the inauguration of the red line. And just ask Nigerians, let's move on.
But do you think that will sit down well with the NLC, especially with what he did say that if they want to participate in the electioneering process, they should wait till 2027?
Of course, that one of the things Bola Tinubu dreads, one of the person Bola Tinubu dreads most is Peter Obi, who was the presidential candidate of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And so what he was doing was just taking an indirect jab at Peter Obi, who has been, really analyzing his policies and, giving it to him hot. So in talking to Labour, he didn't want to refer to Peter Obi directly, so he just indirectly, referred to Labour. So the thing is this, you see, some of these things are just born out of, avoidable fear. On your inauguration day, you had a speech, a written speech. Instead, what did you do? Along the line, you just jumped out of your speech and said, subsidy is gone. Look at what it has cost. Just one line. How many words? Subsidy is gone. 3 words have torpedoed an entire country. So, he should just, the other day he was saying, they hold me responsible. No, that's not what we're talking about. That's not, if we are to hold you responsible, then in the same breath, you are saying you will not stop your reforms. I think his media handlers, if they are knowledgeable enough, should call him and sit him down. They should moderate his comments, especially the off the cuff comments. Because he says one thing when he's reading a speech and says a different thing in opposite to that when he's speaking off the cuff. And those things do not help a government.
Very true. All right, so quickly, let's start off the news headlines today with the Nigerian Tribune. And the banner headline there says, "Stop taking the nation for a ride." Soyinka cautions leaders. And the writer there says decentralization is central to incomplete mission of a nation being. And on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have it. Abbas sets up 22-member committee on Orusanyant's report. Federal government printed too much money, and that's coming from the Abia State governor. He laments free fall of the naira as the reason for that. Atiku wants entire power sector open for privatization. And Tinubu to NLC, you are not the only voice of Nigeria. That's just what we discussed, before getting into the headline proper. So, Emeka, what do you think about this? Especially coming from Shoyinka. He is one at a point. You see him, he is tilting towards the people. At another point, you see him tilting towards those in authority. Do you think we Nigerians should take this seriously?
Well, I defer to him as an elderly man. But sincerely, in recent times, I've come to, unfortunately and regrettably, decide not to take Shoyinka seriously anymore. Yes.
At what point did it get to that?
Oh, when you, who are supposed to be, a voice, an alternative voice, you now begin to speak against the people or against a section of the people on behalf of government, then you lose the moral right to be called a voice, to be called the conscience of the nation. You lose that moral right. And then going forward, to me, there's nothing much I can gain for whatever he says.
Because this was a man during the Nigerian Biafran civil war who stood for the Biafrans. He spoke against the government as against the atrocities that was done in the southeast of Nigeria, and then he was lauded for that. What do you think is happening to him? At what point do you think, or what do you think is the reason why there's this sudden change of a persona of the noble laureate?
Well, I think the question will be best answered by him, not by me. I don't work for him. So,
but as an analyst, what do you think is the issue? Where do
I think his association with certain elements in the current government, maybe dating back to the pro-democracy days, have put him in a tight position where he cannot freely come out to hit at, issues. I mean, which leaders is he talking about? Decentralized Nigeria. Don't take Nigeria for granted. Which leaders is he talking about? Is it not Tinubu we're talking about? You're saying leaders. Who are you deceiving? No, it's not leaders. Talk to Tinubu directly. Tinubu, you are the president. Initiate the process of restructuring. Decentralization. When we talk about leaders, you're talking into the air. It's vague. Since you could come out and call certain people, you call them barbarians. You call certain people, you said, what was that thing he called?
The online...
the online, he said barbarians. There are supporters of Peter Obi. There was fascist, he called them fascist. So if you could be so descriptive, then when you are talking, please be descriptive so that we know whom you are referring to. We all know that Nigeria needs restructuring. You don't need to repeat it. Go down to the specifics. When you say restructuring, in what way? How? To what extent? What do we bring in and what do we leave out? That should be the conversation, not just taking us on just a long ride of fine grammar and no substance. That is my opinion.
All right, so let's look at Atiku, desiring the power sector to be open for private investment. And of course, we will remember that he was as the vice president, with Olusegun Obasanjo. I guess he was in charge of the economy. And at some point, he was given the opportunity to privatize the power sector, if I'm correct. So what do you think is happening now? Of course, we shouldn't do that without mentioning, this allegation that he is, one of the biggest investor in power, generators in the country, allegedly. So do you think we should actually take him seriously with this submission that he is making?
There is one problem we have in Nigeria, and that is we enjoy looking in the rearview mirror. Atiku and Obasanjo left power 2007. more than 17 years ago. And people keep referring when he was vice president, when the conditions have changed. A lot of things have changed between then and now. Between then and now, we've had COVID. Between then and now, we've had, a year after Obasanjo left, there was a global financial crisis that led to the crash of many big corporations. So many other things have happened. So why do people keep Atiku owns a generator, a company that owns generator, Atiku owns this? Come on. Is that guaranteeing power supply? We're talking of dealing with a problem. You're talking of, oh, come on. Look, let me go to the heart of the matter. Look, the power sector should be totally privatized. Remove from government's control. Government has no business running running power.
But before it was done with the discos and individuals taking over the discos. So why do you think
the process was flawed? The process was flawed, but certain amendments have been made to the Enabling Act. So with those amendments, I think we can move forward from that point. To the point whereby, for instance, the national grid is old, is decrepit, so we need to sell it. Now that we even need foreign currency badly, we need to sell it, price it very well, and sell it. So that
I just hope it wouldn't result in that Jakarta, scenario when we sold it, and we can actually get something good out of it.
We will see that about Jakarta. Do you know government still pays salaries to workers in Jakarta?
True.
Government still pays pensions. Government has billions of naira unpaid electricity bill for Jakarta.
So which means the bidding wasn't done right. That's what you were saying.
Sell these things.
Outrightly.
Sell these things. Look, if the new buyers feel they should just go and sell all those things and use that place for an amusement park, better. Why do you keep budgeting so much money on phantom dreams, on white elephants that are taking us nowhere? Sell the entire power sector. So, like I say, sell the power sector, sell the airports, sell the seaports, sell those roads you call federal roads, sell them. They will be better run. And then you see Nigerians will have better benefits. You don't really need to use your car if there's an efficient public transportation system.
Very true. All right, so let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. The banner headline says, residents protest kidnapping, block Kaduna Abuja highway. And we have the rider there says, worshippers abducted in Zamfara. And sub-rider bandits burn health facility houses in Kaduna state. And just below that banner headline, we have Tinubu travels to Qatar with 38-man delegation. Emeka.
Same Tinubu who said he was cutting the cost of government.
I remember very vividly. He said that for the president, it would only be between 20 and 25, people. And right now we're having 38.
Oh, they keep getting ingenious. They now name something as private. Two of the president's children on the delegation. For what? Following him all over the place at state expense. We are not serious as a nation. We are not serious. You are enjoying the grandeur of the office without taking on the onerous responsibilities that include running a lean government. Who will take you seriously? Nobody will take you. You are looking for foreign investors. You are going to Qatar with your sons. To go and do what? What role will they play there? You have captains of industry. You have people investment running into billions of naira, whom you should put on the delegation. You are putting your sons. You are putting some political jobbers who have no business being on the delegation. What are we talking about?
So is it right for him to say, even in the United States, Joe Biden, goes around with his son?
Oh.
So don't you think that could equally be penned to mean nothing?
Okay, fine. Let's make the comparison, right? What is the GDP of the United States? The state of Texas, the GDP of the state of Texas is over $2 trillion. Right? See, The president of the United States can afford to even go with mistresses because it's a stable economy. But yours, you are gasping for breath. Have you seen somebody in ICU asking whether his wife cooked jollof rice for him? You are in the intensive care unit. Your economy is in the ICU. And you are now comparing yourself with Joe Biden. Does it even make it right? Does it even make it right? No. Doesn't make it right. Let us copy proper examples. Let us copy proper examples. The problem we have in Nigeria is that our leaders love to copy the wrong examples. Why not copy a better example from the president of Zambia, who banned foreign travels? Who banned foreign travels? Why not copy certain examples? President of Tanzania. Why not copy examples that of leaner government? You're copying an example of no problem. He can pack his whole family all over the because you're comparing with Joe Biden.
All right, lastly, let's move on to the Nation newspaper, and the banner headline here says Tinubu labors constant strike calls unacceptable, and the writer there says president seeks understanding of reform programs rather than partisan reaction. And also we have on the top strip of the same newspaper, restructuring necessary now than ever, says Shoyinka, and it's time to protect yourself with spiritual power, only tells Albers. And Emeka, let's take a look. Of course, we've had discussed this, but lastly, let's maybe go into it once more. Labor constant strike calls unacceptable, but particularly, I'd love us to emphasize on this. It's said by the president. He says that the labor should seek a better understanding of his reform programs rather than partisan reactions. Do you think there's sense in it?
A friend of mine bought some quantity of Gary and kept in the home. He went to work. He leaves for work early, like 5 a.m. The wife went to work. They left only their little son, who's about maybe 12 or so. Of course, little children. He was out playing football with his friends. Somebody sneaked into their home, a 2-bedroom flat. Took that Gary. The person knew what they kept the Gary, and poured a large measure from the Gary and made away. Somebody cooked a pot of beans. I think a pot of soup. I'm telling you things that happened just within the past few days. Somebody went, turned the whole pot, and left it. These are real life examples. I know how many people have told me they went to somewhere to eat, and people walked up to them, I beg, I'm hungry, please buy food for me. You see all these things everywhere. People collapsing on the road because of hunger. A man killed his son because he ate the last portion of food in the house. Are those normal scenarios? No, they are not normal. So we're talking of understanding of your reforms. Have your reforms helped people to live better lives? Or are reforms pointing people pointing people towards the valley of the shadow of death? Look, when a leader has to beg for understanding, he himself even knows that those policies have failed. Look, Tinubu must get serious about running this economy.
But sometimes, don't you think it's being weakling, for the president to abruptly, accept that his policies are wrong? Am I the one
that will accept it? His policies are wrong. The ease of doing business, there is no attempt to reform the ease of doing business. That's even what we are looking at. Corruption. What have you done with corruption? You publish a list of ex-governors. You said the EFCC published a list of ex-governors. Said where it was going to pursue. Where the cases got to today. But what you see constantly is Yahoo boys. They are always running after alleged internet fraudsters. Meanwhile, the big guys. One of the headlines talked about was that government created too much money.
Yeah, too much money.
23 trillion. Can I tell you one very shameful irony? 23 trillion as at early last month, was the equivalent of $50 billion. Dollars. $50 billion. In Nigeria, government printed 23 trillion and the money disappeared into thin air. In China, December last year, China gave out $50 billion to its 3 policy banks to give to people at 4% interest rate to invest in different businesses, housing and all that. Look at the two. Look at the two scenarios.
Comparisons, yeah.
Are you not ashamed that that is the case of Nigeria? And let me tell you something. You are looking for the reason why dollar went up. You are pursuing octa effects. Go and look for where that 23 trillion went to. That 23 trillion was converted into dollars and stolen. The money is still in the houses, overhead water tanks, septic tanks, and abandoned houses of politicians. Go and look for them. Grab them. Recover the money. Let me tell you, if you recover the money and put it back in the system, the naira will go down to 900 naira to a dollar. Within 24-48 hours. I can assure you of that. Because the looting that took place under the last government was horrible.
Very true. Well, that's just about all the time we have for our newspaper reviews today. Love to say thank you to Emeka Madunago for being a part of our show today, and I'll beg that you will remain with us for our main conversation, if you may.
Thank you very much.
All right, so when we return, federal government detains 2 Binance executives. That in a beat. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.